Alrighty, so we just got to North Dakota. We left, where did we leave from actually again?
Savage, Minnesota. And then we drove over right across the state line near Fargo, or I don't remember.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
Also known as the world's most expensive laundromat.
Yes. How much was it, like $5?
It was $6.50 a load.
Yeah.
And unfortunately we had to do laundry. You guys know who live in your RV full time, but yeah. And then stayed there one night, and now we're in Medora, North Dakota.
Yes.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Views on views. Yeah, we did not know that the Badlands were in North Dakota.
Right. A lot of people think of South Dakota when they think of the Badlands, but they're up here, and Prairie Lands too. And our BLM spot is right on the Badlands, so you can see views on views on views. Like Justin said, it's amazing.
Absolutely amazing. And that was our first time staying on BLM, so we have 3 points that we'll go over in this video with you guys. That way you have a better understanding of what it is and what you should do before you go and when you're there.
Yeah.
Now, before we get into the video, be sure to pause, like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notifications. And if you haven't done so yet, I will put the video, the first vlog we did, at the end of this one for our travels, so you have an idea of where we started from and pretty much where we are on the journey. So what was your favorite thing about North Dakota, you would say?
Theodore Roosevelt National Park was about 10 miles or less from where we were. That was a really cute town, Medora, and it was just sweet. They had impersonators of the President Roosevelt, which the kids enjoyed, and they had little cowboy saloon type structures. Yes. It was really beautiful and pretty. They had wild horses, bison. First time we got to see prairie dogs. The kids loved those. And just the views. It's very peaceful. Yeah. Super peaceful out here.
Very clean too, compared to what we're used to.
Yeah. The roads, right?
The roads were pretty much immaculate too. Yeah. The wind was bad though.
Yeah.
And we told you guys what wind stood for in the last video too. What did it stand for again?
Weather in North Dakota.
Weather in North Dakota. It was windy. I mean, we were getting hit by a headwind. I was getting 7.4 miles a gallon. It was bad.
He would try to drive so close to a semi truck behind it just to block some of the wind.
To get the draft, and the wind. It was the truck was literally going side to side like this. Yeah, and I mean, no matter what speed I went at, it was bad. So yeah, we learned a lot on that trip. But overall, I think we should talk about BLM, because I think that this is something that our first time doing it, and it's something that I want to do in the future a lot more, because it's so freeing. You don't have to worry about campers next to you.
Do you fit in your spot?
I
mean, sometimes depending on where you go, but I don't know. It's a different type of camping. We've only ever camped in campgrounds. We have done overnight stays at Cracker Barrel, truck stops, things like that. And that's not peaceful at all. Nope. But BLM is just amazing. Like Justin said, it's super freeing. You feel like you're the only ones out there.
Yeah. Alrighty, so before we get into the 3 points, what is BLM? BLM is basically Bureau of Land Management. This is land that's across the United States. I think it's 240 million acres. And you can basically set up camp for a specific amount of time. Every place is a little different, but it's really a way that you can save a little bit of money, and you can really get the best uses of your camping trip.
So the first thing that we learned was to pick up supplies before you arrive to your spot. The closest store to us right now is Dollar General, and that's about 30 minutes away. And with gas prices, it's simply not worth the gamble to go and see what supplies that they have for us if they have everything that we need. There's a gas station 10 miles from us. They also don't have everything that we need. So I would say meal plan before you come. Try to have some food for the next 2 to 3 days, just to conserve on water, conserve on your time, so that way you can enjoy your views and the land that you get to stay on for free.
And to second that too, normally when you're in smaller towns, fuel prices are $1 more. Yeah. I'm not exaggerating. We saw gas prices literally $1.25 more in smaller towns. So I would definitely, before you start getting away from things, I always dropped off the highway to go to a truck stop to get fuel and get DEF. So I always topped off everything, and it's just good to make sure you have your water tank full And I would even recommend even having like maybe 2 or 3 gallons of water that you can use for like campfire. So it's just good things like that to do before you head to your BLM. Alrighty, so this next point is probably the most beneficial one, I would say, just because we normally don't do this. And like, this is the first time in my life where I was like, I made the right decision. And it's basically, do not drive up BLM you're not familiar with your trailer. And where we were at in North Dakota, this is no exception. Now obviously if you're staying on flatlands and you can clearly see the horizon and all that good stuff,
tow away.
I would still not tow. I mean, she says tow, I wouldn't.
If you can see it,
if you can see it, still drop your trailer. I'm just telling you right now, it's just better to be 100% safe than sorry, because we literally went up all the way to the top without our trailer, and when we got to the top there was a fence and you were not able to access, because if I could have gone through the fence I could have turned around, but because of the fence I was basically about 3 feet off the cliff, and on the other side was a big dip, so I literally had to back down with just my truck. Now if I had my RV hooked up, I don't know what I would have done, because again, we were so close on each edge.
And it was like a round, so it went up and then there was a turn and then it just ended. So there was this huge mountain, you get up around and you think it's going to keep circling or going up, and it doesn't. It just stops.
Yeah, it was scary backing up with just a truck.
Yeah. Because
again, you can literally see that you're on a cliff. And there's no protection. I mean, so if you go on this BLM, you just have to know that you have there's no guardrails like on a normal highway or something like that, so you have to be very careful. So drive the roads before you go into the land. Last but not least, have fun,
but be safe.
But don't be stupid. That's what I was gonna say. Don't be stupid, because on BLM, this is a great opportunity for people to stay, 1, for free, number 2, enjoy beautiful views, nature, quietness, all that stuff. I mean, I'll assume you're not close to a highway obviously, but
it's such a privilege to be able to stay on land like this, and that, you know, there's millions of acres of this land available for us to enjoy. So we want to preserve it just like it was intended to, for future generations.
Yes, and if you're going to do a campfire, as I mentioned earlier in the video, bring extra water with you, because obviously if you do a campfire, especially out west, you have to be sure the fire's out, because you don't want to create a forest fire. You want to be that idiot on TV. So 100% make sure you follow the signage. Before you even go on, you should read the signs, make sure you know how long you're allowed to stay there, what are you allowed to do. One thing I saw a lot of is don't create new trails, was one of them. Of course, take your own trash.
Right, so garbage in, garbage out.
Yep, and on top of that, if you do a fire, I would almost recommend, you know, cleaning up your area, you know, by taking up some of the stuff that burned and put it in a trash bag and take it with you too. So just be respectful. I think that this is a blessing that we get to do stuff like this. You know, it's free land that you can stay on, and again, you get absolutely the luxury of just not having to be so close to other RVers, and you can really enjoy this time. But on that note, I hope this was helpful. We probably won't do too many videos like this. I want to try to do more like travel and really show you guys the insides of our life, but it's so hard for me to do videos like that. I am not that kind of guy. I like to show you a car and be done, and it's wave goodbye. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. You have any closing remarks?
No. Stay tuned for the next one.
Peace.